T-Man 978 Chill Review.
Hello everyone, T-Man 978, Masters of the Universe Chronicles, Man at Arms, Heroic Master of Weapons. This is one of their deluxe articulation figures. Here's that right there. Here's this right here. He's going up against Skeletor. It's always the good guys against Skeletor and the bad guys against He-Man. Back here it says, just as Eternos fell, so too fell the commander of the King's Royal Guard. With the return of He-Man, however, Duncan fights to save Eternia from Skeletor. Alongside the Masters of the Universe, the King's man-at-arms will find the redemption he seeks. Here he is out of the packaging, and I'm going to try to be quick with this, but I do want to make a statement. I have the same general critique with all of these, and I've reviewed a bunch of them. If there's somebody else from Wave 1 that I missed, I don't know who that is. I think Trapjaw's from Wave 2. I could be wrong. But anyway, the main critique is I wish that they had thigh swivel. That would make posing the legs a ton easier. The good thing is they have swivel in the ankles and swivel in the boot. So that helps me get this pose right here, since I have to make his legs a little bit wider than I wanted to. It looks like, from looking at the pictures, the female figures will have thigh swivel, but they possibly will be lacking the lower abdomen movement, which would suck. And I see that they only have hinge wrists. They don't have universal joints in the wrist. I could see that from the pictures, and yeah, that sucks. I hope they aren't missing something like the ball at the base of the neck, but we'll find out when we get there. I'm almost to the point now where I feel like there's some deal with retail style figures where they say don't make them 100% perfect. Maybe every once in a blue moon, once a year, give them that perfect figure. But the only people that haven't done that is Jada Toys. Jada Toys, it's like you're getting the best that you can get. Period. The only thing they're missing is universal ankles and wrists. But outside of that, everything else is still perfect. Their Balrog is one of my favorite figures. If you haven't seen my review on that, that's going to be a figure of the year for me. But I'm starting to feel like they purposely don't do this or that, because if they had that thigh rotation, these things would be pretty perfect for me. That's literally the only thing they're missing. All right, let's get the accessories out of the way. He has a mostly realistic or real world looking pistol. Of course, it's fantasy. It has effects ports it look like. I don't know what can fit in there, and there is a peg hole right there so I can fit on his leg. You get two gripping hands and 2 fists. And he has this club weapon that he's known for, this mace. I can't recall whether he just hits stuff with it or when he hits people, energy comes out. For whatever reason, it rotates right there. I don't know if it can pull apart. I'm not going to do that. I'm pretty sure it can pull apart, though, because they had to plug it together some type of way. But solidly a gold plastic made out of a marbly gold right there. As far as him himself, here he is. That is a good likeness to Idris Elba right there. He is covered in some type of wash or whatever. I believe this plastic on the armor is made out of gold, and everything else is painted, from what I could tell. Let's look in the middle. No, it's a bronzy color, and all of that is paint, basically. Every single piece, because it's more of a regular gold, orange, bronze color. And yeah, I'm not sure about this stuff. This might just be all one solid piece and painted, or it could be glued on. But I'm going to take his armor off. They even put painted detail underneath of that armor. And there's painted detail underneath of this that you would never ever freaking see, which is crazy. There is a pull off thing right there, and this looks like it would be his mace, and it grows, or maybe that's just a smaller mace, I'm not sure. But painted all around, he's really good. If I have any complaints with anything, these fall down and just hang around the elbow. But here's that detail right there. So you'll be constantly fighting with this, especially after you articulate his arms and whatnot. But let's make sure I get into the helmet. It's always been funny, he and Brawn from Transformers look highly similar as far as color scheme and the silver helmet. But that's super duper a coincidence. Alright, you can put this on here. This gun is rather gummy. And I'm gonna be honest, the hands don't have a trigger finger. Holy moly. This one's hard for me to take off. Good night. It was hard for me to get that on the peg. But here's how the hand is shaped. It's just like a gripping hand. And this is a very thick handle. And these are not all that soft, to be honest. It's like you need to really pry the hands open and force that in there. But there is no little trigger loop anyway. So there's that right there. And if you don't want it there, I think I did just show this, but I'll show it again. You can put that here. It just stays there. It doesn't, when you kick the leg out, it's so pliable, it bends out of the way. And I was showing him hold the mace already. But let's get into the articulation. The neck is just like the rest of them. There's a channel cut out, so he can look up a great deal. He can look down, side tilts, rotate, and all that. The butterfly action, he seems to have more range than all the rest of them, especially as far as coming forward. I guess they probably made sure to do that so he can get his hands together to dual wield with that mace. His bicep swivel, the double jointed elbows, which have import style joints, legs and knees and elbows. You get this right here. Oh yeah, I didn't go into his universal wrist and whatnot. Depending on the wrist, this one goes out more than this one because that's in the way. But you can do whatever you need with that. That much back, that much forward, side tilts, rotation on both areas. I wish this was a soft diapery piece. The hips, I'm noticing with all of these figures, definitely need to be tighter, but they drop down. You get a little bit of swivel, especially when you drop down. This is what you get when it's not dropped. This is what you get when it's dropped. However, you can use that. Get this, and we got the universal ball and the ankle, so the foot can spin around, ankle pivot. His ankle pivot is kind of hindered a bit due to the armor right here, but I was able to get him posed up. Here he is with one arm guard on, and if you want to take this armor off, you definitely will have to remove the head. So let me just do it since I'm already halfway there. Just unpeg, unpeg, and this lifts right off. We can grab his head, and here we can have like probably some generic soldiers with this type of look. But that's crazy that they painted all that and they put all that detail under there. Just like they want you to be able to remove all this and it still look good. So that is awesome. I would assume, yeah, this can come off if you want it, but you have to do it like that because there is no opening. But here he is, completely without the armor gear. The stuff on the legs does not come off that I know of. And now that I'm looking at this, this is a separate piece glued on. So if you wanted to, you can pull that off, but it's probably going to look a mess. And you'll have to glue it back on there. But here is the abs without the armor. So, just like I keep saying, I wish they had better movement forward. These thigh joints could be a little bit tighter on friggin' all of them, to be honest. Like that ball seems to get loose very easy. I need thigh swivel. And if they can all have like forward motion, that would be great. If they could get better than that. And this should be a soft diapery piece. So with those things that I mentioned, like these shoulders, this joint right here is tight. So whatever they did here, they need to do that in the hips. But yeah, these things look awesome and they have awesome articulation. They just need the extra things that I'm asking for them to be absolutely perfect in my mind. Here he is next to He-Man. So they are roughly the same height. They are shorter than the two bad guys. There's some Cringer action, or Battle Cat. Here are the two bad dudes. He is very tall, over 7 inches. This one is like roughly, almost like exactly 7 inches. And the other two are pretty much 6.5. Typical Hasbro 6-inch. So as you can see, not too much tall. There are some figures that will be taller than these. Let me see. I think Torch might be taller than Hawk right here. Let's put him. This is what I hate about doing comparisons. Here he is. Torch is a little bit taller than Hawk. They aren't exactly the same size, but I know I got something. Here we go. The Cobra La Royal Guard right there. He's a little bit taller than this Man-at-Arms, to be honest. But there you are. Yeah, I like them besides the things that I mentioned that you totally listened to while I was actually filming this. If you didn't, scroll on back and listen. Thank you for watching. Until next time, T-Man978 out of here. Click the videos. Click the fucking videos, baby. Click the videos. You should really click these videos. Click the videos. Click those fucking videos, baby. Click the videos. You really should click those videos. Click that shit. Go ahead and click that shit. If you did, you would like it. Really click that shit. Now I'm freaking gone.